rolling. Oh, I've got my aircon on, mate. Hold that one sec.
Oh, far out. Get the jet engine off. Oh, that was close. That was too close.
So close, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah. My PTSD is just like coming in, and I'm just like shaking.
All right, dude. Wait up. What the fuck is this? Punishment from the Rogers? Oh, dude. Don't start with me. Don't. There is no shot I'm getting punished. There is no shot I'm getting punished. Look, this ties into my weekly update because, mate, I was in a place that had so little reception that police officers were relaying sensitive informations over Telstra payphones in phone boxes. They had seats in front of a phone box and they were calling people.
How do they have phone box? Don't all phone boxes now have Wi-Fi?
Not these ones because it's a black spot. It was just a regular, payphones are free now, which is, payphones kind of an oxymoron, but they were still there. So the fact that I'm here I drove 10 hours today from Cunnamulla, dude. I drove 10 hours from the bottom of Queensland all the way out to the centre of Queensland. Queensland is
the Rogers don't care. Yeah, if your damn state wasn't so backwards, you would have had reception and we could have got this out. So this is punishment for you being in Queensland. It's not about you. It's about Queensland's punishment.
I knew it. That's what this is about. This has nothing to do with the delay. This is purely just something. I thought you guys would be happy. You're back in pubs. Go on. Stop being so bitter. Life's getting better for you guys. Why are you taking it on me still?
And while we're all hungover, we wanted a podcast to listen to, and we didn't get one.
All right. Do we actually have a punishment from the Rogers though?
No, I'm going to put it out there. So I'll put up an Insta on the Road Guide Instagram. And,
what do you think?
What do you think?
Okay, good.
So Rogers, I want some advice on how we should punish Dan for this.
And I'm dead serious. I will protest this. I will protest this.
He's going to protest anything, but just put something up and we'll get it done.
Well, mate, anyway, week of a lifetime. It was absolutely massive. I was all over the place driving hours and hours a day.
Didn't you just do your weekly update?
Well, that was not it. I had a huge week. Don't wrap me up. Don't give me the go. I've given you a taste. I've told you that police officers were on payphones. You don't want to hear more? All right, let's see what you did.
So, you're cutting out, man. That Queensland reception is cutting out.
All right, deprive the people, deprive the Rogers. What have you been doing, you degen?
Pubs are back, baby.
Oh, huge, bro.
So very exciting getting to book, 1 or 2 hour session because that's all was really available. But in that 2 hours, still managed to get kicked out though. So that's something. It's good to see her back to my old habits.
Oh, dude, was that day 1 or day 2 of the band?
Day 1.
Wow.
So day one, we got kicked out pretty quick. But like the owner of the bar loved us, so he gave us like shots as he was kicking us out. So that was pretty cool.
That's responsible.
I was like, hell
that's
yeah,
RSA.
Freedom Day, baby. That's RSA. I'm not going to name the pub because that might not end well. But and then we just rolled into I woke up and then had 4 hours of sober up, and then just roll straight into day 2.
And then what? Are you still going? Like, what's the vibe right now? Are people just like recovering? Are they wounded?
I'm just poor, man. I thought I could save money in lockdown and it'd be great. And then 1 weekend out, it's just like all gone.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. That was my week, which was pretty exciting.
Awesome, man.
No boring reception stories, which is one of the benefits.
Dude, the Rogers will be up in arms. You've cut it off an absolute cracker. Let's get into the road guide to summer. Because apparently we don't want to hear legendary epic tales of people going missing, COVID in Queensland. Oh my God, it was juicy. Anyway, road guide to summer though, Dos. Something else that we can change the subject towards.
Yeah, and summer is daiquiri and sunburn season. 2 of my favorite things, one to drink and one to judge. Obviously, sunburn's a judge. I was trying to make that the reverse, but that wouldn't have worked. But I will admit, one thing about summer that's always kind of confused me now that I'm retired from cricket is that on a Saturday, like, I don't know what you people do in winter because I've always got footy. So when I roll into summer, you wake up, go for a run, clean up the house, and then it's 11 a.m. and you're like, what the fuck do you do? So that's just where I've adopted day drinking then.
Yeah.
The weather's nice. It's just, it's just hard not to.
Well, you've traded out a sport for bloody day drinking. That is not the sign of a man spiraling out of control. I've got to say, though.
Mate, I still look at day drinking as a sport.
It's all about piss fitness, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but let's be honest. For our Queensland audience, hearing someone from below the border talk about summer is laughable. Summer in Melbourne, that is rich. That's like that's another oxymoron. Something just can't be true. Because quite frankly, the only place you can find summer is in the Sunshine State. It's in our name. Summer is where it's at. You guys probably go to the beach in, I don't know, St Kilda or wherever it is you go to the beach at. And I bet you the water's still too cold to swim in. You got to come up here and enjoy our, somewhat fresh, somewhat warm, somewhat cool water.
Yeah, look, I'll give you the beaches. I will give that. I'm not a big fan of the Victorian beaches because they are so damn cold. But hey, like we'll have a 42-degree day, and then you'll go down the beach, and so will the rest of the city. And then the next day it'll be like 16.
Wow!
Oh, there you go. 25-degree kind of swap.
That's
I know
insane.
that's not 25. That wasn't correct math before people start fucking coming at me.
Wow, dude, you're onto that quick. You're
Gotta
paranoid,
be sure.
dude. You're looking over your shoulder everything you say.
Yeah, I got a few comments from last week's episode about technically we weren't allowed to have people over, but
you got COVID fact checked.
I got COVID fact checked.
Oh my god, you guys too much spare time, you Victorians. I'm sorry to say it, but if you're COVID fact checking people, man, what are you guys doing down there?
It's because we care about each other. We want to keep everyone safe. So we really want to look out for each other, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, mate.
We're a community.
Well, another part of my story is that I got a call from the police officer, and I'm not going to tell you the full story because you don't deserve it, but I got a call from a police officer, and he said, mate, you are a low-risk COVID contact because of this mystery situation. Anyway, I won't keep going on about it because you don't want to hear it. Let's jump into the road guide.
Wait. I have a really funny story. I'm not going to name names for this.
Honestly, dude, I don't care. You have a hilarious story. I have an epic story. No one's going to hear either. Let's jump into the road guide to summer. Step 1, dude, get your skin checked. Now, I know what you're thinking. Damn, Dan is literally dry.
I'll be checking out skin in summer.
The banter is not good. Get your skin checked. Are you serious, mate? Road guide, we're telling you, giving you good advice based off of bad experiences in our life, so you don't go through the same thing. And I'm saying
I had to peer pressure you for months to get your skin checked.
I know. And do you know what, Dos? I've been tough on you, and you've been tough on me so far this app, but that was a game changer. Get your skin checked because I went to the doctor. He did his little skin check thing, took barely any time, costs for free, and guess what? He said, mate, you can't get skin cancer, all right? Don't come back. Don't waste your time. Don't waste my time. Your skin is immune to skin cancer. He actually said I was low risk.
I don't think it would have been immune.
I know. But my mate at work is immune. The doctor said your skin is in such a way, and he's a European, let's just say that. He's a Caucasian, but his skin is in such a way that the doc said, don't bother checking it. You're immune. Bloody live your life. But I got told I was low risk, which I'm basically taking as I'm invincible. I don't think I can die anyway. So it really throws into question. I got a doctor's certificate to get out of slip, slop, slap. All you chumps having to worry about slipping on sunscreen, slopping on sunscreen, and slapping on sunscreen, or however the bloody jingle goes. And I don't have to worry about it. I'll just flaunt myself. I'll scorn the sun. And I cannot be smited. It's pretty good. Go get tested, and maybe you'll get out of jail free.
To be honest, I actually had the same thing.
Really?
I went in there and got checked, and then
after me, after I got my get out of jail free card.
I inspired you to get it,
dude. You should have told me that was a thing. As soon as my boss told me, as soon as my friend told me, I should say, as soon as my friend told me that you could be given basically a get out of skin cancer free card. I was like, yeah, sign me up. Maybe I'm in on that.
Good be on. Yeah, well, I was worried because I live in Victoria and had a Victorian winter, then a UK winter, so I was white as hell. And then, I hit the Queensland summer and got me tan back within weeks. And I was like, maybe there could be a red flag there. And I got tested, and the guy was like, he's like, mate, what are you doing here? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, your skin's fine. You're low risk.
Your skin is so good, mate. He was like, your skin is just so good. He stood up and gave you a standing ovation, didn't he, mate? He just loves it.
Yeah, he was like touching me the whole time as well. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Right. This is the skin of the 1% of immune to sun cancer, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're in that 1%, baby.
We're in the good 1%, dude. The one that gets respect.
that doesn't die at a young death because I got skin cancer.
Disclaimer, skin cancer can get anyone, and make sure you slip, slop, slap. Let's jump on to step 2.
Disclaimer,
buddy.
do not follow step 1. We cannot be held accountable. So moving on to step 2. It's pretty simple. Get that summer rig out.
True.
You know, shirts are not to be worn in summer.
No.
You've been making Instagram posts all winter saying that you're getting that summer body ready in the gym. Now it's time to live up to it. Yeah, this includes venues as well. So when you go out, get that rig out before you get kicked out. That's something I live by.
That's a good motto, dude. I love that. You should get shirts made up. Road guide. Get your rig out before you get kicked out. I like that, dude.
Yeah. And I have been kicked out a few times for taking off my clothing.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but I just want to show that I live by the shit I say in this.
Yeah, and it takes me back to the greatest club. So clubs are all different, right? Pubs and clubs, if you're in the city, they can be quite strict. They can be like, wear shoes, wear long pants, blah, blah, blah. Then you go to places like the coast, and it's like, oh, you can get in with maybe even thongs on, or maybe even like shorts on. Mate, we went to a club in Montenegro where the floor was sand, and you walk in, and it was pretty much like you could just dress however you wanted. People, kits off, rigs off, bloody anything goes. That is what I love in a club, and that sort of plays into the take a kit off at all times. I agree. Singlets are also the coward's way out in summer.
Yeah, look, some occasions I'll accept a singlet, but for the most part, yeah, we want the rig out.
Mate, step 3, this is why singlets are a bad call in my opinion. If you get sunburnt or tanned with a singlet on, you're marked. You're done. Yeah. Summer's over. You look like a bloody... it's just... let's be honest, the DOS. We both love tan lines. Let's be frank. Tan lines are a huge win. But, but come on.
Can't
get
be
all
weird
this
tan lines.
Nah.
You know, you want sexy tan lines, like, you know, sock tan lines or like croc tan lines. Like
croc? Oh, with like the little circles on your foot.
Yeah.
The sun's coming through the crocs.
Oh man, we're gonna have to put an R rating on this episode. Damn, talking dirty here.
If you're one of our croc enthusiast listeners, and I am a croc enthusiast. In fact, I wear dorks. It's an Australian version of croc. They're dorks.
What do you mean? Are they shaped differently?
No, they're the same. It's kind of like a weird copyright thing that I'm sure they're having no problems with. But they've called themselves dogs instead of crocs. And you support Australia, which is awesome. But this is know your limits. If you're Irish, like some of our listeners are, international listeners, of course, let me expand that to European in general. I think Europeans have all kind of been hit with the don't go outside stick. Or you're just a southerner of Australia and you've got pale skin. You got to leave it to the big boys with tans to be out in the sun all day. Know your limit. You need to slip, slop, slap. You need to stay indoors and maybe watch the fun for a few hours. Just like it comes down to with, not being able to die from skin cancer, which we have established the road guide is blessed with. It's genetics. Summer is all about genetics.
Just like hypocritical if you're step 1.
No.
I'm just looking at your step 1. You've got written down, literally can't die.
You can't. I can't. I was told that. Yeah, but other people might not. Know your place. Don't be outside getting sunburnt if you can get sunburnt. That's another thing. I can't really get sunburnt. Yeah. It takes a long time.
Yeah, fair. All right, well, moving on from death, I'll move into step 4, which is don't say no. So, if someone says, let's go for a hike in bumfuck nowhere, then go. Even if they're dodgy as fuck and, own a big white van, live a little before you die a little.
Mate, you're all about the motivational poster mottos tonight, aren't you? Don't say no. Live a little before you die a little. Get that rig out before you get kicked out. You're bloody ScoMo with the slogans, dude.
That's me. I'm telling you, mate, I'll be running this country one day. You'd hold me to it.
Look, step 5, and this pains me to say it. This really does, but you've got to. I repeat, you have got to maintain those relationships with the 1%. The 1%, they've got the money. They've got the jet skis. They've got the holiday homes, the apartments, the things by the water. They've got the time off because mum and dad just throw them cash and you can be like lined up with them. You can say, hey, I've got this weekend off. Come to the beach with me. Come for a hike, whatever. And they'll do it. You need to have 1% friends to have a proper good summer.
This is it. You've been, you've been grafting them all winter.
Yeah.
You've been putting the moves on them, getting them in the good, comfortable friend zone.
Yeah.
And now you're hitting up the, the beach houses, the summer houses, and the holiday planes. And they didn't have to come with you. Just take the keys. Take the keys off, get them drunk, get them drunk, get them kicked out for taking their shirt off in a club, and then grab their keys and head down to their holiday house.
Look, Dos, that was a bloody ripper guide to summer. I think we're ready for summer. It's just around the corner. In fact, I saw people are starting to already, come up with, this is the song of the summer. This is the song of the summer. It's really, it's coming upon us.
Yeah, we're right in the slot. We're in the sweet spot, I reckon. Just that shy, just before summer. So last chance, to get to the gym, get that rig. You got 5 weeks. So,
yeah, you can do a bit in 5 weeks.
Yeah, you just get on a steroid cycle and you can fast track that.
Yeah. That's the road guide to summer, but we have got the CEO of Sunburn ready to chat with you here. This is someone that I imagine is not in the 1%. Someone who will slip, slop, and slap to the cows come home. Someone who will be indoors watching his mates out playing beer pong in the sun, out of the shade tent.
His nickname is literally the polar bear.
Really?
That's I'm not even kidding. That's what we call him.
Wow.
So we have the polar bear, Mr. Dodsy, Zach Dodds.
Oh, g'day, boys. How are we tonight?
What's up, Dodsy? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Late call up tonight. I heard Chris Hemsworth couldn't make it, so got the call up in the last minute and got told to prepare a story for tonight.
Hell yeah,
Avid
dude.
listener though, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, he is. Big
obsessed.
listener.
He's in the DMs all the time.
Liam we're struggling with.
Big pro
he'll
summer
come on
fan.
eventually, but yeah, Chris, massive fan of the
He's
show.
still dealing with the Miley Cyrus breakup. Yeah.
Dodds, a lot of people might know the household names of Chris and Liam Hemsworth, but some may be less familiar with Dodds the polar bear.
Yeah.
Dodds, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as a polar bear, I hibernate quite a bit, but on occasion I do venture out. I'm a bit of a barbecue extraordinaire at parties. Always end up behind the grill. Shout out to Processed Meats.
Yeah, shout out the Processed Meats. Let's go.
Also, a bit of a finance guru myself, so the budget week was an interesting listen, listening to Pros just spiel off some absolute tripe there, but I got through it. I was told I wasn't allowed to be on that episode.
I was speaking gems. Thanks, Dodds. I know I was speaking gems. So to appreciate the call out. But yeah, me and Doddsy go way back. We're old uni mates.
We do.
That's where we met, and I think we kind of really bonded. We had a bicep tournament with all these other girls on a pub crawl, and I think I won that, Dodds. I think
you did, but that's not how we actually met, Dos. If you remember correctly, it was a uni event that we met, but one of us was a little bit too drunk.
Wait, before you say this, are you sure you're not going to just let me go with that last story?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go with the story where you flexed your biceps and got me almost kicked off that pub crawl, if I remember correctly.
Whoa.
All right, throw me under the bus. Let's do it.
So it was a uni event. Might have been like a toga party or something like that. It was at Eureka, the Geelong's best nightclub that is no longer in existence.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Eureka. And one of the girls from uni was like, "Oh, can you take Dos home? He's had a little bit too much, and he's in the kebab shop." And he's not leaving.
Oh, no.
I was like, all right, I'll take one for the team. And like, this was the first night I met Dos, so didn't know him from a bar of soap. But
so this is your first impression of the bloke in the kebab shop?
Yeah, so couldn't speak. So if anyone's been out with Dos drinking before, he gets to a stage where his words are no longer English. So I get him out of the kebab store, and the taxi ranks like 10 meters away, if that. And he's like, no, cheeseburgers. We're getting cheeseburgers. Like, fine, it's a couple of blocks away, but you want cheeseburgers, we'll get you cheeseburgers. So we start walking up the street, start going around the corner, and cop car goes past, and Dos being Dos decides, you know what?
No.
I'm going to give this cop car, as it goes past, the bird. So gives it a bird, gives it a bit of a spray. Little does he know, there's a second cop car behind the cop car. And that pulls up.
No.
And he's just like, hey, mate, you good? And I was like, oh, mate, I'm sorry. I'm literally trying to get him to a taxi. Like, I'm trying to take him home. Can you let us go? We'll get in the taxi. We'll go home. He's like, mate, straight home. Don't want to see it again. Yep, no worries. Dos couldn't care less. Just like, oh, whatever, So get him his cheeseburgers, get him in the taxi, find out he actually lives around the corner from me. So following that, I think we started drinking every Tuesday night on a uni night. for Goon Tuesdays. Shout out to Goon Tuesdays.
Oh yeah.
Eventually lived together and
bonded from there.
yeah, that's how we did it.
Wow.
Pross, on the other hand, added me on Strava one night and got stuck with him.
Yeah. We also bonded over some well-cooked meats, and we ignore the situation at your place, it might have been, for the grand final. And we jump into the story of the road guide. This is the big call. Our big call is none other than Dodds, the polar bear. Dodds, you've got a story for us that comes to a climactic point. You'll stop there. We'll say what we would have done, and you tell us what you would have done.
Yeah.
Dodds, what's the big call?
Absolutely. So back in my younger days, probably back when I was about 19, shout out to those younger days. Went to.
Why is everybody's story a teenager?
Oh, because
I've just
we
noticed.
don't do cool things anymore, dude. Dodds is a finance guy. You're bloody in recruitment. I'm bloody where there's no reception, watching on payphones.
I'm
I'm
basically
still
settled
getting
down.
dragged away from the cops.
So I went over to Vietnam for a bit of a holiday by myself. So the group I was working with at the time was a little bit older, and they were all going to the US, and no point me going to the US at 19. Can't really do all that much exciting stuff.
That's for the 1%.
Yeah.
True.
So I went over to Vietnam and didn't want to do, the Kentucky tour like every other basic person. So
Nice.
hired out my own driver.
No shout out Kentucky tour. No shout outs for Kentucky tours.
So got my own driver, got my own tour guide, going around to the day, and then during the night he just dropped me off the location and be like, all right, this is the main strip, this is where you go. So one night I'm out, nice little town, just having an absolute ball by myself, drinking in a pub, and let alone a little Kentucky tour pops in. So having drinks, and I'm just shouting the bar, working the bar. I'm flashing the cash, which in Vietnam was very little, but seemed very big to them. It was great.
You're in the 1% in Vietnam.
You are.
It's having the time of my
1%
life.
simulator.
So after shouting the bar pretty much all night, buying everyone drinks and playing pool, I was like, look, I'm pretty done. Time to walk home. So start walking down the street by myself. I know the hotel's like maybe 3-4 kilometers away, but I'm determined I can walk this.
That's basically like, would Nelson order a chopper to get that far? Because that's twice as far as 2K.
I actually think he would have flown his dad over to Vietnam to pick him up to drive him back to the hotel room.
He wouldn't stay in a hotel. He'd be staying in his Vietnamese house for sure.
So I'm about like...
Shout out Nelson.
Shout out to Nelson. So I'm about not even 50 meters from the bar at this point, and I noticed behind me a couple of the locals that I was playing pool with are behind me. It's like, oh, okay, maybe they're leaving as well. And all of a sudden they're gaining pace on me. I was like, okay, all good. And then little 19-year-old me got a little cornered on the side street here, and they're like, oh, mate, you got money? I was like, no, all spent. And they're like, oh, no, we can get you some stuff. I was like, get me some stuff. What do you mean? Like, I'm pretty blind at this stage, and I'm not sure what's going on. And they're like, oh, we can get you weed. I was like, nah, not interested. Like, I'll get you girls. I'm like, nah, I'm not interested. Oh, what about boys? I was like, nah.
Hell yeah, boy,
let's
go.
Let's for the fun, boys.
Not interested. Got to go home. Got to get to bed. Like, it's early morning, and I've got my tour guide coming back in the morning to pick me up. So I need some sleep. All of a sudden, he's like, no, money. And he kept nodding at me. I'm like, yeah, all right, no worries. Not giving you any money. He's like, nah, money. Look down. I'm like, what is that? Bloke's pulled a knife on me.
Holy. And Dos laughs on your Dos.
So
you're sick, man.
Got these two locals in front of me. Got this knife. About in the gut range there. I was like, oh God, what am I going to do here? And then the bartender that had been served me all night. Like, I was pretty chum with this bloke. Like, there's photos of him in a Santa suit sitting on my lap having drinks. Like, I made the best friends with the locals, other than obviously the two that are now sticking me up on the street.
But everybody else, best friends.
Yeah, they love me.
Love me.
They love me in Vietnam.
Love me and love my open wallet. So my bartender pulls up out of nowhere, pouring rain on one of those little like scooters that you see everyone going around in Vietnam on. He's just like, mate, jump on.
No.
Yep. And I'm like, oh, geez, I've only just met that bloke too. Like, so it's at this point.
That looks a lot nicer than a knife.
Yeah. So at this point, I've got a knife on me with two blokes in front of me, pouring rain, no helmet, about to jump on a scooter with a random local that I also don't know that wants to take off at some pace in the rain. So at this point, that I had a bit of a decision to make, and then a decision on how I was going to continue my night. What would you do
You're
at
thinking
this
of going
point?
out. All right. This is pretty simple for me. I, like many white private school boys, I did karate. All right. When I was in grade 4, 5, and 6. I am equipped to disarm a man at a moment's notice. I'd be like, sweet, this guy, pull your camera out, mate, because I'm about to show you some sick shit. So I'd have the guy on the bloody bike, whip out his iPhone, ready to film what is about to go down. Because I'm about to downward block. I'm about to grab his elbow, pop his shoulder out with this like butterfly sort of flaying move. And then I'm going to flip that knife in the air. I might stab his mate, but I don't think that's really the vibe at the moment. I'll just be armed with the knife.
Still want to toy with him at this stage.
Yeah. And then they'll run off in fear. They might even give me the money. And old mate bartender will take me back to the bar where he'll bring all the girls and the boys as well, as we're offered. Maybe some of the weed too. And we'll have an epic night, that's for sure. I reckon that's a pretty realistic explanation for what I would do in that situation.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we couldn't get Chris Hemsworth on the show, but it sounds like we got Liam Neeson on the show.
Yeah, because then I'm going after their family, dude.
Well, I think it's relatively simple. Like, regardless, you're getting on the motorbike. I kind of mentally prepared for similar situations when we were in South America. I was like, if someone does pull a knife on me, being Australian, we're just naturally taller and bigger than everyone.
Yeah, Dodds, you would have flexed over this guy, wouldn't you?
Oh, I was pretty.
I mean, you don't have a knife.
Pretty skinny fat at 19. I was still only, 80, 85 kilos at that time. Shout out to my younger weight.
Shout out to my Tinder profile.
We love all the pictures.
I would say, mentally I just kind of like, if it was a knife, I would nearly take him on.
Whoa.
Well, to be fair, it was what you said, but you're a bit sarcastic. I
didn't know. I did karate, dude. Come on. I was a brown and black stripe with 5 stripes. I could basically be a black belt if I go and get graded, dude.
It was only 2 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, only 2. Only 2 with a knife and pretty drunk me.
In a foreign country and I'm smashed. And it's raining. Yeah, okay. This sounds like an easy fact.
Standard Saturday night.
I don't know if you guys if you've taken anything from Dodds' stories, but I'm a bit of a rebel. I'm not afraid of the police. I'm not afraid of criminals.
You'd flip off the bloke that's come to save you on the scooter and turn back and take on the police.
Flip him off, turn around, like, where were we?
You call that a knife? This is a knife.
Literally, I was about to take your money, wasn't I?
Wow,
and then you were to show me where these boys were.
So you've heard the exact true things that we definitely would have done in that situation. What did you do in that situation?
Well, funny enough, it's pretty similar.
Oh, what?
I think it's a pretty clear choice as well. You're not going to stay and go, you know what, I'm going to cop a knife for some money.
Still negotiate this.
No.
So talking to the bloke on the scooter, he's just yelling at me, "Yep, get on, we've got to go." I was like, all right, panic, just through the right hand, just crack, straight in the jaw.
Whoa.
I was like,
oof.
Oh God, jump on the back of the scooter. I'm thinking, what have I just done? Are going to go. And the bloke's sitting on the scooter with me now. He's like, what'd you do that for? I'm like, go. Like,
Let's talk about this later.
Why are you now sitting here not wanting to leave? Like, we got to go.
Now
he's escalated.
So I'm yelling at this
He's
bloke.
like, we're a chance now.
We've got to go. I've got no helmet on. He just peels off as fast as the little scooter can go. So not too fast. Not with a weight of me on the back of it, let's be honest. Start going. We pull up like 3 blocks later and he's like, all right, what are we doing now? What do you mean, what are we doing now? Like, Did you see what
I
happened?
feel like
back
this
there?
would have been a better big call moment. Right, now what do we do? Like,
So-
surely you're going back to the bar.
Yeah.
So part two of the what would you do now? Original me was gonna go back to the hotel, but he's like, "Oh mate, do you want to just come drinking with me and my friends? We're going to a local spot." So sure enough,
Oh.
after a little hesitation of a 0.5 second, said, "Let's go." Went off, little local bar, and like you wouldn't even know it was a bar. It looked like just someone's little garage, just a couple of plastic chairs, a couple of randoms. No one really spoke English other than my bartender, so I had no idea if they were laughing at me, with me, what was going on. But boy, I had a good night. Met one of his friends and had an even better
Oh,
night.
here we go.
Hell yeah,
here we
dude.
go.
Good on you, dude.
Got tested when I got back to Australia. All clear.
And
Just
on that note,
clarify.
dude, on that triumphant note, we thank you for the big call for today, Dodds. Awesome story, dude.
That's all right. I may have got
That
the
was
wrong
quality.
"what would you do now" part, but we got there in the end.
Well, surprisingly, we were all relatively on the same page, so a pretty good outcome for sure. Dodds, thanks so much for your time today.
No worries at all. Pleasure.
Yeah. Well, that was good. Good to have Doddsy on there. I think I feel like we just got to clarify for his 85 kilo Tinder profile that that he did get tested and he's in the clear.
Yep.
If anyone bumps into him
Yep.
on some of the social apps or the dating
Surprised
apps.
he didn't drop his Instagram like most people seem to be doing, dropping their handles, but good for Dodds. You can find him on Tinder, Geelong or Melbourne. I'm not too sure where he is.
He's a little bit more active
Yeah.
on the Tinder and Hinge these days.
Doss, something that Dodd said during his chat fired me up. It got me red hot under the collar. I was pretty furious, even just thinking of this. And you're probably going to agree with me on this one because Kentucky's, mate.
Yeah,
Hear me
how
out,
good.
brother.
Oh.
Fuck them.
Oh, yep.
I'm off them, dude. I mean,
Dude,
I don't know
you
what
said
this-
hear me out, and then
don't know.
I gave you a second, and you
That's-
just didn't say anything.
I got what more do I need to say, dude? What do we think about Kentucky's,
'em.
bro? Fuck 'em, dude. Seriously, guys, come on. Kentucky's?
Yeah, fair. It's pretty basic. I think it's a bit fast tracked. You don't really get much of an experience or exposure to real kind of
Oh,
travel.
hell yeah. Real traveling. You
Us
bloody
cultured
pike.
folk.
Yeah, you got no clue. You haven't been at a bus station, the only person speaking bloody not Spanish, trying to organise a 36-hour trip
God.
to the bottom of a country. You've just been in your little bus with your British driver and your bloody maybe somewhat European friends, but let's face it, probably mostly Australians or something like that, all hooting and hollering. Yeah, sorry.
And there's no knives get pulled on you. There's no exciting stories like that.
No chance the knife gets pulled on you. If you're a Kentucky enthusiast and you're listening right now, fuck yeah. But also, I'm just, hey, Rogart, don't turn it off.
Come on,
Don't turn it off.
we know they're the 80%, the Kentucky goers.
True.
So if they're listening in because they want to learn how to get to the
You're
20%.
You're right.
So
20%
maybe-
now.
Well, maybe was it 90?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was 90. It was 90.
I kind
I
of
thought-
panicked.
No, I thought that maybe our road guides had been so successful that we'd
Yeah,
turned
right.
the 10% into the 20%, but no, apparently not. It was just a verbal typo. Yeah, no, exactly. If you're listening right now, chances are you love a Kentucky. Don't get me wrong, traveling's great, and I'd even go on a cruise one day, and I think cruises are in the same line as Kentuckys. But God, come on, seriously, you got into a Kentucky? Come on, man.
Gotta live a little. Like, how many times did we get, nearly shot by the cops in South America? That's something that you just don't get to experience.
Nah.
You don't get to experience the M4s coming on your bus and then you getting dragged off the bus.
Yeah, you don't exactly. There's no chance on a Kentucky that the bloody federal police agency walks on the bus and rifles through the bag of the bloody French backpacks in front of you. No one's speaking a word of the same language.
When they're yelling at me, and I'm like, no Spanish, and I just say "si," and they nod their head, and then go and just ravage the French people in front of us. It's one of the most scariest moments.
That was a low point because like, are we next? Like, are we gonna go through this? Where's our passport? Anyway, risk your life. Don't do a Kentucky.
That's it. Yeah, if you don't risk your life, you don't get any good stories.
No.
Like the only good stories I've heard from Kentuckys is just weird sex things.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah,
That's about it.
And all the pictures are the same. Some bar somewhere, some Mediterranean coastline. Like, were you in a Vietnamese pub like Dodds was, with people not speaking the same language, getting hookups with, the Vietnamese guy's sister or something like that? No, you weren't. You weren't.
No.
Get a hold of yourself. Grow up.
Live a little. Grow up. I like that. Grow up.
And that's it. That's the road guide for today. We're talking summer. We've been talking summer. We've been talking sunburns. And we've been talking, good old holiday vibes. A little bit of schmack along the way. As always, we highly recommend you get on our Insta. Insta's popping, dude. It's going off. Great job with the Insta.
It's popping. And I mean, I apologize for us being late, but, for me being late.
I don't apologize.
Ross will apologize. Yeah.
I will never apologize because my story that I could have told you at the start of this, you would not believe it. It is a miracle that I'm here. My presence is a present. Let's just say that.
That's what you say every episode.
Yeah, and I will not accept punishment. I'm curious to see what the possible suggestions are because you're out of line even trying to punish me. I should be a protected species.
Yeah, with your beautiful skin, your perfect skin and tan.
Yeah, Queensland bloodline. But yeah, also get in touch.
No, you're from South Australia, your parents.
Half South Australia, mate. Come on.
Caught out. Trying to lie to the Rogers.
Shout out South Australia. We love South Australia. Shout out Melrose as well if you're listening. But yeah, get in the DMs. Get on the road guide. Be Dodds. Be Juzzy. Be Darcy. Come on. Get on. Be a member. Be a part of the chat. Yeah, that's all I got. I give the other guys get a shout out all the time for being the 1%. I want to shout out some of the 99%ers.
Juzzy's definitely the 1%.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Did we establish that? Let's not get into it. Road guide on 3. Rogers unite! Oh, sorry.
Rogers!